my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get this in to go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the 2021 USBC Queens, the first major of the 2021 PWBA Tour season. My name is Aaron Smith, sitting alongside Jason Thomas. We are at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. We've had one round, technically two rounds, but one full round of winners bracket matches. We're down to our second round now. So all winners bracket matches on the lanes here at the NBS. So for the individuals who win their matches, they're done for the day, JT. They'll head into Monday's another long day, but have two wins under their belt, still in the winners bracket. For the players who lose this match, they'll be on the lanes a little bit later tonight, trying to keep their tournament hopes alive in the true double elimination format.
Yeah, done for the day being a good thing. Get to rest and recuperate for tomorrow, and a shorter road to the stepladder finals for sure.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go straight to the lanes here. Full screen. Yay. And we got a lot of great matchups here once again for our 32 competitors still in the winners bracket. And we're going to watch or kick off, start with a matchup of two our roommates, a matchup of two talented players who have made the show at the USBC Queens, and a rematch of the 2019 U.S. Women's Open title match, featuring our top overall seed Danielle McEwen taking on Tanya Ramanpur from Indonesia.
Yeah, I mean, obviously an opportunity for Tanya to get some revenge for that tough loss. Left a solid 7-pin, and then Danielle stepped up and threw a double to take home that title. But it's going to be a really tall order, I think, for Tanya. Danielle has been bowling so well throughout the week, and looked just sharp as a tack in that opening match earlier this morning. But split to start. See if she can make it.
We do have live scoring available and a few questions to get to in the chat, but the pairs that we are currently featuring, the matchups available to you here on Bowl TV. We are watching on 45 and 46, the Danielle-Tanya match. Over on 49 and 50, we have Shanna Chapelski taking on Shannon O'Keefe. So if Danielle and Shannon win these matches, they will be facing off first thing tomorrow morning on Monday. What an epic battle that would be.
Wow.
Here pretty early in the tournament. Shannon Sellens is taking on Verity Crawley on 53 and 54. Carolyn Dorn-Ballard taking on Cara Mangiola on 57 and 58. Over on 41 and 42, we have Emily Eckhoff taking on Liz Culkin. On 69 and 70, Alexis Nyer taking on Diana Zayalova. Clara Guerrero against Taylor Boltice on 65 and 66. Deandra Aspady taking on Kayla Pachina on 61 and 62. I think those are all of our featured matches. Other matches ongoing, which you can follow using live scoring. Jordan Richard versus our defending champion, Dasha Kovalova. Heck of a matchup right there on 29 and 30. Missy Parkin taking on Ezra Zetter on 33 and 34. Elise Bolton against Alicia Current, 37 and 38. Brandy Brankett taking on Lindsay Boomershine on 17 and 18. Liz Johnson, both 300 in her final game. Somehow, some way, just doing goat things. To set up a matchup against Fania Kobo, who shot the biggest three-game set in the opening round, 769 in her win over Josie Barnes. So that matchup on 13 and 14. Gigi Mason against Julia Bond, a matchup of former collegiate teammates at the University of Nebraska. They took home the NCAA Women's Bowling Championship together for the Cornhuskers in 2015. They're bowling on 25 and 26. Addie Nelson taking on Stephanie Johnson on 21 and 22. And then Lauren Pate taking on Birgit Norikes on 73 and 74.
Well, both players going high on this left lane to start. And let's see if Danielle makes an early move. We talked about it all week. The transition's happening very quickly. And Danielle has been the best all week at reading the transition and making the moves and staying ahead of them. So let's see if she makes a move here early. It certainly looks like it. That one over 14 at the arrows and high flush. So she might need to make another little adjustment, but looks like she's lined up.
Tanya had a phenomenal run at the 2019 Queens, rolling an 822 in a 300 game in one of her victories on the way to making the TV show.
Bowled well on the show as well.
And came back, made the show at the U.S. Women's Open as well. Talked about that as the top seed.
Well, let's see what Tanya can do. She went 4 through the nose on this lane last time up, and probably will need to make a little bit of a move. These two players, two of the best shot makers we have out on the PWBA Tour. Well, I think that's going to be the problem for Tanya. She's a lot more end over end than Danielle. Danielle has the ability to increase her axis rotation, which we've seen her do all week, and it's been very impressive. So, you know, if Tanya already has a through the nose 210 reaction this early, it certainly doesn't bode well. Nice spare conversion there.
Very nice. Danielle says, not too shabby. Nice shot.
Yeah, but also probably said on the back end, I think I'd prefer just to strike. That was in. Pays the price.
Missy Parkins starting with the first 4 strikes over on 33 and 34 against Azeret Zetter. Liz Culkin, spare 4-bagger against Emily Eckhoff. Verity Crawley looking for 5 in a row here in the early going.
Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting matchups with contrasting styles. Emily Eckhoff and Liz Culkin, straight player and a player that likes to hook it. Missy Parkin and Azeret Zetter couldn't be more different in how they like to play the lanes. Julia Bond and Gigi Mason know each other very well, but Julia likes to go a lot straighter than Gigi. Kovalova and Richard, pretty big contrast there. So a lot of interesting matchups.
Tanya is dialed in on 46. 45 bring her in this particular shot, went through the nose. And then 210 made the spare.
Yeah, and what do you do here? Her shot in the second frame, I think she thought was pretty good. Got 4 through the nose. She moved left off of it and at 210. So what do? You go back to the right and throw a little harder? Or do you stay where you were with the 210 and try to hit it a little harder or soften up a little bit? Looks like she stayed on top of it and gets the light mixer.
Stephanie Johnson, 6 out of 7 strikes so far. Julia Bond started with the front 4 before he split in frame number 5. Danielle delivers the double. 1 pin difference so far through game number 1. Here getting started with the front 5 against Lauren Payton. She had a big number in the previous round as well. She was in the 760s. In her first round win.
Wow. Going up at it a little bit and doesn't lay off. So, tricky pair.
All or nothing so far for both competitors. Once again, 3-game total pinfall matches with the winners getting the rest of the day off to rest up. Come back on the lanes tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. local time. Players who fall in defeat this round will be back on the lanes a little bit later today. We'll have another re-oil, another break in the action after the squad, and then we will have 2 rounds of contenders bracket competition. So unfortunately, at this point, we will, or at that point, not this point, at that point, we will start to say goodbye to some of the competitors as they record their second loss. In the true double elimination format, which also plays in the stepladder final. So staying in the winner's bracket as long as you can, winning your side of the bracket, and then winning the final matchup prior to stepladder finals of utmost paramount in 2021. Have an extra game in your pocket if needed in the stepladder.
Back-to-back 2 pins for Tanya. So this pair looks pretty tricky. Tanya going up at him a little straighter and Danielle hooking it. And both players look like they have a little bit of a tough time hitting the pocket.
45 and 46 wasn't too kind in the match we saw in the first round on it. Liz Culkin had a big final game to sneak out the win
Yeah, that's right. It was a low scoring. Both players shot under 600.
Yep, that was against Nicole Klutkin, who was attacking the lanes from the left side. So Liz had the whole right side to herself and just managed 572, but it was enough. She was down 21 heading into the final game, and after some spare shooting difficulties in games 2 and 3, she started throwing some strikes and put together a big enough score to overcome the difference. Set up a match against Emily Eckhoff, and off to a much better start here. She can shoot 258. And just for some clarification in the chat, this is a 3-game total pinfall match, so not best of 3 or best of 5. So just total pinfall after 3 games. Whoever has the most stays in the winner's bracket. Whoever has the least amount in that matchup will go to the elimination bracket. So Danielle turns in the double in the 8th and the 9th. Let's see if Tanya can get off this 2-pin look here. Have to hustle. Goes through the break point. Tanya may be thinking long game with this, and Danielle hasn't really gotten out to a massive start in this game, but maybe if she works on this one spot, that's going to open up a little bit for her, and then she's going to have something to throw to here in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, Danielle missed on that last shot, and Tanya's burning up a spot for Danielle to throw to right now, and that's the problem. And Danielle, stayed patient. She maybe made a little subtle adjustment after the open frame, and the ball made it back around the corner. And I just think that it's just going to get better and better for her as the match goes on. I don't know what Tanya's options are really at this point.
After the double in the 5th and the 6th. 2-pin, 2-pin, 2-8.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good shot. She tried to move off the 2-pin, and then it turns into that. Unless you can change your axis rotation and get left of it and get the ball back around the corner, you're really trapped at this point. We saw a bunch of players this week bowl well early, and then when they had to jump into the track, they got trapped into this 2-8-10 big 4 ball reaction. And Danielle's been able to avoid it by using her axis rotation and speed control.
173 the total. McCune can get to 210. All 3 in the 10th. Verity Crawley's going to be up by about 25 against Shannon Sellens after game 1. Liz Culkin's going to have a 88-pin lead heading into the final 2 games against Emily Eckhoff.
And that miss is good news for Tanya, but, I mean, give it 3 or 4 more frames and the ball's going to hook back off that spot. And then it's going to be big trouble for Tanya. So she needs to figure something out here, either a different ball or, I don't know. I don't think I've seen her go left to right with a lot of axis rotation. That's not her game. So you either have to ball change to a weaker ball and throw that last shot she threw that went 5 through the nose, or I really think that's the only option, to be honest. Or try to move left and do something that she's not comfortable doing.
Well, the good news for Tanya, at most going to be down 15 after one. Danielle takes a look at something different here, and it's going to finish with 186, so 13 pins. That's what I predict the difference will be.
I'm not going to bet against it.
My apologies, folks. We are working on a bit of a delay. So
I do like the fact that she's getting a look at a different bowling ball, though. And this was the ball that she has been transitioning to throughout the week. And that goes high, but that's actually good. She got that right early, and it overread. So in my mind, that means she can get a little left with that ball and have a lot of room.
Shannon O'Keefe with an open in the 10th frame shoots 200. But she is going to be up by 41 pins after Shanna Chapelski had a rough opening game, 159. Missy Parkin, 245. Alicia Current is going to have 48 pin advantage, 234 to 186 over Elise Fulton.
Looks like Tanya just stayed where she was and threw it a little more aggressively.
Sounds like something Liz Johnson would have done in game
Exactly.
3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the amazing thing about Liz is, her ball reaction was just not great going into that last game, and she bowls 300. Danielle gonna go ahead and make the ball change. So gonna move a little left off of that last one and open them up. And that one gets back from no man's land.
Liz Johnson up 245 to 196 against Fania Kobo. Brandy Branca is going to have a slight advantage over Lindsay Boomershine. At most 7 pins after one. Stephanie Johnson shot 278 to kick things off here. Addie Nelson 168. So big advantage for Steph J. Julia Bond 22 pin lead over Gigi Mason 225 to 203. Dasha Kovalova up 10, 203 to 193 against Jordan Richard. Missy Parkin 245 to 208, advantage over Azarette Zetter. $239 to 214. Verdi Crawley ahead of Shannon Sellens. CDB 210 to 181 ahead of Cara Mangiola. High scoring game one between Deandra Aspady and Kayla Sheena. Deandra with the advantage of that one. About 245 to 232 there. Clara Guerrero, 213, 196 ahead of Taylor Boltice. Diana Z, 245 to 179 ahead of Alexis Nyer. Birgit, 245. Lauren Pate, 208. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can just see it. It's not coming back from there. If you're going to play there, your miss has to be the left. And you really don't have much,
And yeah, I was just gonna
much left.
left and hope you gassed it.
Yes. But that's what we saw Liz Johnson do the whole game. I mean, she never missed right the whole game. Every miss was high or Brooklyn.
So is this one of those phone booth scenarios folks talk about?
Well, you know, Danielle's not doing anything to force Tanya to make any crazy moves. So that's part of it. But it just seems to me like they're going to come to Danielle. She's super close. I mean, that shot, she left the 248 in the second frame. She just went up the back of it a little bit, just kind of missed it. But she'll figure that out, and then that ball's gonna strike. And then Tanya's going to have to do something risky.
This is a match play fun.
It is. It is. I mean, there's nothing like it because it doesn't matter what everybody else around you is doing. It only matters what your opponent is doing on this pair of lanes. And I bet you if Danielle gets up and throws a double, we're going to see Tanya make a ball change or do something different.
She's been talking a lot to Brian O'Keefe, who is off-camera view here. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, she got around that one, which is what she's trying to do. The last one, she kind of went up the back of it a little bit. And when you go up the back of it, the ball doesn't have the bounce on the back end. And it was good direction, but she just went up the back a little bit. And when the ball got out of the pattern, it didn't make that hard turn. So let's see if she gets around this one a little bit more, which is what she's trying to do. There it is. That's better. Tricky pair. Tricky pair. If she gets around it a little bit and gets it right quick, it overhooks. It's funny. Danielle probably feels like she's bowling on a cliffed situation, and Tanya probably feels like she's bowling on a reverse block. It's
And yet they're bowling on the same pair.
They are.
Oh, bowling, you can be so tricky sometimes.
I'd personally rather try to bowl on a cliffed situation than a reverse block. That's better.
Just a little bit more up the lane. Second, it gets right quick. It's done for, but kind of the best shot of the match so far. That might be close.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Oh, business picking up. Tanya finds the double.
And she looked like she kind of went around that one a little bit on purpose.
Gave it the business.
Just to give the ball a little bit more pop on the back.
Danielle looking to respond here in frame 5. Strike last time up on 46. Delivers again.
So let's see if she moves left off of that last shot that went high. You know, the trouble with that, when they're cliffed and you move left off of a shot that goes high, is it could catch more oil in ring of 10 or flat 10. Definitely made a move left with her feet. Good looking shot. And a ring 10. So now from there, what do you do, Aaron?
I'd pick up the spare before anything else.
That's good. That's good. That's good second ball. What does Matt McNeil call that? Second ball focus?
It is important. I like that, second ball focus.
And that is why people miss 10 pins, because they're thinking about the next move that they're going to need to make. But Danielle, good second ball focus and makes her 10 pin. If I were her, well, she's saying that's enough of that ball.
she just labeled the last two in the
Yeah.
right lane too.
I think she's going back to the idle and going to stay left. And that'll give her a little smoother ball reaction. And that's something you certainly could. That's one of the options that you have. The other option, you could stay in the oil and try to slow the ball down a little bit, and Tanya catches a 3-bagger. It looks like she's made a subtle little move here where she's going around it a little bit more to get the ball a little cleaner through the front so she can stay where she is. She doesn't want to move her feet. There's a lot of tricks if you want to try to stay in a certain part of the lane and you don't want to make a ball change. You can do a lot of things with your hand and your ball speed to keep you in that part of the lane, and that's what we're seeing Tanya do right now, and it's pretty impressive. Zip that one a little bit extra ball speed there. You could see it.
Covers the spare without problem. Clean through 7.
Liz Culkin's finished up with game number 2. She's routing Emily Eckhoff 495 to 384. Liz Johnson bowling another big game. Should be in the 260s with one more strike.
Looks like Danielle may actually be sticking with that ball on, unless you grabbed a different version of it. Looks like the same. Ball gets the hit on 46. The ball's been good on 46.
Yeah, maybe brought it back to work on the thumb. And it looked like she was a little further right on that shot. Let's see what happens here on the left lane. She's going to stay way to the left. My guess is she'll just slow the ball down a little bit. It's kind of what she's been doing all week. She's been using her touch. She might slow it down a little bit, or maybe just hit it a fraction harder to get it to pick up a little earlier. Yeah. Gets the break.
Turns it into a double. So 45 still not quite all the way there yet. Should take that hit and find some momentum heading into the ninth and the 10th. Verity Crawley over on 53 and 54. Shoot 279 this game. Should be off to the races with a big lead on Shannon Sellens with one to go. Shannon hasn't bowled bad, but just not striking enough.
That's the trouble with that line is you probably have 4 or 5 shots on that line before you're going to need to make a move. And, at some point, it's going to happen. And the problem is, now she's got all the traffic that Danielle has created left of her.
Liz Johnson finishes with 267. She's going to have pretty big lead heading into game 3 against Fania Kobo. 5-12 at the turn.
Yeah, so that's 800 for her last 3. That's an Andy Varapapa 800.
Julia Bond putting up a big game here. Some struggles for Gigi Mason. Has not yet struck here in game 2. 2 opens. Jordan Richard looking to send our defending champion to the elimination bracket. Shoot 268 this game. Max Verdasha 203. The 9th and 10th left to go. That looks pretty good.
That was sweet.
Excellent shot to set up the 10th.
Great touch. Well, let's see if Danielle can parlay that tripped 4 into turkey here. She's really hasn't had any trouble on this lane.
Alicia Current going to have the advantage over Elise Bolton after 2 games. Current at 468. Spare and strike Bolton can get to 420. That ball is wheeling. Three in a row for DMAC. She's got 237 out there. 234. Max for Tanya.
Well, she rung a 10, then tripped the 4 on a shot that she got in and caught a little bit up the back of it, so it checked up early. Let's see what she does here.
That was the same type of 10 she left when she took the ball off the rack for a second, too.
Yeah.
Not that way.
Yeah. Curious to see what she does on the fill ball here. Make the spare and get one more look. You know, when players, you hear the term, they want to see the ball go through the pins right. That's what Danielle's working on right now. She's got the pocket, but can she get the ball to go through the pins right so when she does hit the pocket, it's 10 instead of 9?
And there she goes. She's heading back.
Yeah, definitely going to look at another ball.
Yep, there goes the thumb.
She's got miss room right now. What she doesn't have is carry. So if she can figure out something that can get 10 when she hits the pocket, it's going to be a pretty tall order for Tanya to pull this one out. Oh, that looked really good.
Shaped nicely.
That's what you want to see.
216 will get her to +2. So Tanya, if she's able to double here, hold the lead heading into the final.
This is huge. This is huge, especially after what we just saw Danielle do.
That's left.
Ooh, man, that was pretty close, though. She just has no room.
Birgit up 439 to 397 against Lauren Pate. Diana's going to be up against Alexis Nair. Clara currently up against Taylor Boltice. Deandra was up to start against Kayla Pashina in game 3, but she has 2 opens and 4 frames.
Well, what are we going to do here, Tanya? You going to go for a different ball? She knows Danielle's got a great look on both lanes now. And her look is she's trying to squeeze it between an ant's legs. So definitely made a ball change there. Let's see what she does on the lane. Looks like she's a good 5 left. Well, hit the pocket.
Not a lot of power there, though.
It didn't, but maybe if you give it a little bit of axis rotation, change the shape of it a little bit, that might be the answer.
Danielle at 402, Tanya at 386, 16 pin difference heading into game 3. Lindsay Boomershine going to hold the advantage on 17 and 18 after 2 against Brandy Branca. Steph Johnson up big against Addie Nelson on 21 and 22. Gigi Mason, 138 this game. She is going to be facing a big deficit against Julia Bond. Jordan Richard up 100 on Dasha Kovalova, 461 to 360.
Danielle has a huge advantage right now in terms of ball reactions. It's really a matter of execution, and can Tanya outbowl her ball reaction? I mean, these players are so good. And we saw Liz Johnson shoot 300 the last game with not a very good ball reaction, but it's really going to come down to, can Danielle just stay out of her own way? And can Tanya outbowl, the ball reaction that she has? Yeah, she went around that one a little bit more than after that flat 10 with that ball, and looks pretty good. But what does it look like on the left lane? That's been the tricky lane this whole match.
Missy Parkin going to be up big against Ezra Setter heading into the final game. Alicia Current up against Elise Bolton. Liz Culkin on the way to victory. Shannon O'Keefe up at 99 against Shanna Chapelski. Brady Crawley up 60 to start game 3 against Shannon Sellens.
Okay.
Two pretty good shots right there.
2 good ones, and it's better ball reaction.
CDB up 37 against Kara Mangiola. Kayla Pashina putting together some strikes. Good pressing Deandra here.
Danielle hasn't missed this lane in more than a game now. And how long does this line hold up for her?
Sticking with this bowling ball and that.
I mean, that wasn't that bad of a shot, but in my mind, that probably should have held.
Clara up 433 to 409 against Taylor Boltice. Diana Z 427, 366 advantage against Alexis Nair.
Now Danielle's going to have a decision to make when she hits that lane on the next turn. She's certainly lined up on the left lane now with that ball change, but do you make the ball change on the right lane, or do you just move left with the ball that you've been whacking them with? What would you do, Aaron?
It's a great question.
She hasn't thrown that other ball on this lane, so she has no idea what it's going to do other than an educated guess. She's dead wired on this lane now. And she got that one in and just laid off. She's got the whole lane on that lane now.
Well, I think with Danielle, she knows what each of those balls is going to give her. She's been preaching that all week, trying to stay ahead of the move. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does. If she felt that shot in the second frame was close, and it did that, then I think she makes the ball change. She knows what that ball was giving her on the left lane. She understands the motion. She understands the adjustment she'd have to make. So if she liked the shot and 3-6-10, then the ball change is coming.
I'll take you one further. If Tanya doesn't look like her ball reaction's still good after these 2 frames, she moves left with the ball that she's been throwing, because it's a safer move. Tanya goes double there. She might ball change, but I don't think she makes a ball change with Tanya going through the nose on that shot.
Calculated chess match going on here. 15 and 16 pound objects.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What's so great about this tournament? That one laid off. So Tanya's got a little bit of room.
Let's see which. No, she's going to stick with the ball that she's been using on 46.
I think that's a smart move. Just move a little bit off that last one, and this lane's been a lot more blended for her, so I just don't see her leaving a ring 10 off of that move. If she flat 10s, then she's got problems, but just a little bit left and still going through the pins great.
That was pretty good. Makes it a double. I feel if she gets this one, Tanya is, I don't want to say is can't miss roll, but is feeling as if she can't miss.
It certainly would put a lot of pressure on her. You know, there's nothing Tanya can do right now except make great shots. That wasn't a great one there. She grabbed that one a little bit, and not her best. Now a tough spare.
Kayla Pashina. Together a heck of a game.
I don't know if you noticed this, Aaron, but no more hand slapping between these two. This is getting down to the serious time. And Tanya high on her last shot on this lane. See if she can make a little bit of an adjustment or a better shot and pull a little bit closer. That was pure. Great shot. Wow.
Nia Kobo putting some pressure on Liz Johnson. Way over on 13 and 14. Can shoot 277 this game. It's kind of a chance. Oh,
that was sweet.
Tanya's big shots here, middle of game 3. Down 16 to start.
We got a heck of a match going.
Let's go.
Both players lined up. Pretty much a dead heat.
Liz Culkin with a 725-96 victory over Emily Eckhoff. So Culkin, the first to go 2-0. We'll see her tomorrow morning.
Well, let's see if Danielle, what she does on this lane. I think just made a bad shot last time on this lane. See if she can make a better shot this time around. After that ball change, looked like she had quite a bit of room. So it's all about execution at this point. You know, Danielle's talked about how this is something she's been working on, going left to right, but now we're in a pressure situation. Let's see how she can execute down the stretch doing something that's maybe her B or C game. That one was pretty good right there.
This feels like the scene in Kingpin. At the very end, the music starts playing when they're on the lanes. Gonna be a showdown.
Well, how many more great shots does Tanya have in her?
Doesn't make it up the hill. 2-pin.
That was close. Maybe just a little fast.
Kayla Pashina is going to make up a 40-pin difference heading into the final game here against Deandra. Already in the 250s. Get the victory. No problem on the spare. 258 still out there for Tanya. Danielle, max 257.
Huge shot right here.
Oh,
Wow. What a huge letdown.
Absolute nuts. 7-10 in the eighth. Come on, bounce. She did not get the bounce. Drops the max down to 235 now. Danielle just needs to
keep doing what she's doing. She's got great ball reaction on both lanes. Just a couple more good shots and she'll move on in the winner's bracket.
Fania Kobo pushed Liz Johnson, shooting 274. Liz needed to get the first strike in the 10th. Was able to do it. 7-16, 7-10 victory. Oh, there's a little fire there for Danielle.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie Johnson going to get the victory over Addie Nelson. Some struggles this game for Julia Bond, but had built a big enough lead over Gigi Mason to where she's still in good shape to get the victory. Dasha Kovalova will be heading to the elimination bracket. So our defending champion will have a little bit longer road than she experienced in 2019 on the way to victory, where she went undefeated on the way to the win. She parking up big for Ezra Zetter, and that's not going to hold.
Very good break there, just leaving the 3-6. Danielle's magic number 220. So with a spare here, should be in the 230s as a max.
Alicia Current was up 48 pins heading into the final game against Elise Bolton, and no problem on the spare there. Elise having a rough game, a foul on a spare, and open in the 8th. She has 126 up there. Elise is making that one really close right now.
Tanya has to have this to stay in the match. If she misses here, the match is over. Ooh, trips the 4.
Spot finally started to pick up a little bit. It's the hit. 235 still available. Shannon O'Keefe going to advance, stay in the winner's bracket. She will get the winner of this match. Verdi Crawley with the win over Shannon Sellens. CDB on the way to victory. She's going to be 2-0.
Tanya's got to have it. She can still force Danielle to mark. Oh, she deserved that.
Oh, triple 2.
After that 7-10.
My goodness.
Well, one more. Danielle's going to have to mark.
Birgit's going to get the win over Lauren Pate. This one. How about this one?
Gotta have it. Very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive what Tanya was able to do this match just to give herself a chance.
Going to be in the 230s, having to essentially ace every shot. These pocket 7-10 sneaking in along the way in the 8th frame.
All right. 233.
Double was the hard part. She's going to finish with 619 for the series. So
Any kind of mark for Danielle will lock it up. She hasn't missed this lane for quite some time.
she made the move after the 3-6-10 in the second.
She hadn't missed it before that for a long time as well. Good looking shot. And carries a light mixer, and Danielle McEwen will move on in the winner's bracket.
Which sets up the McEwen O'Keefe
Wow. What a match.
matchup Monday morning.
The number 1 and number 2 ranked players the last 2 seasons on the PWBA Tour will be facing off first thing tomorrow morning. You're not going to want to miss it.
CDB just shot 269. She's going to cruise to victory there.
Well, she doesn't want to do the show with us on Tuesday?
I guess not. She's ready to bowl on it. She's ready to bowl on it, JT.
It's amazing how big a motivation having to call matches with us on Bowl TV is to your bowling career.
Very much so.
Kelly Kulik's 2 for 2 in shows this year where she was supposed to be in the booth calling with us.
Elise Bolton completes the comeback. She's going to get the victory over Alicia Current. 6:55 going to be enough for the victory. Final shot here for Danielle. We're going to switch, made that ball change just to see what it was doing out there. Always learning. 234, 636 to 619 victory over Tanya Raman for Shannon O'Keefe, 668 to 546. Verity Crawley, 683 to 630 over Shannon Sellens. The O'Keefe match was against Shanna Chapelski. CDB, 269 for 666 over 557, Kara Mangiola. Kayla Pashina, 656 to 619 victory over Deandra Aspady. Clara Guerrero up against Taylor Baltice. 9th and 10th frame to go there on 65 and 66. Diana Z is going to get the win over Alexis Nair. Birgit, victory over Lauren Pate. Lindsay Boomershine just needs to mark out, and she will advance. .684, 577, Julia Bond for Gigi Mason. Jordan Richards, 689 to 520 over Dasha Kovalova. Missy Parkins is going to get the win against Azarette Zetter. Just a matter of final score. Taylor can get to 230 this game.
Yeah, but not going to be enough.
Not going to be enough. So that ended up being a fairly mild round. We had our chess match here on 45 and 46 between Danielle and Tanya.
That was fun.
But,
very interesting matchup.
Not too many nail biters here. We had a few comebacks, but nothing that really came down to the other than the one all the way at the low end of the house between Fania and Liz. Everything else pretty well decided here. Boomershine has officially locked out Brandy Branca. So how about that for Lindsay? On the verge of missing the cut, fires 240 in the final game, has to wait it out, gets in the cut by a pin. And now 2-0.
It's a crazy tournament. That's why you want to make the cut here. You always want to make the cut, but once you make the cut here, anything can happen.
So let's take a look at our bracket here. See what some of these matchups will look like tomorrow morning, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. local time here in Reno. 57 and 58. I think we'll be starting on that pair tomorrow morning. Danielle McEwen taking on Shannon O'Keefe.
Yes, we will.
We have Verity Corrali taking on CDB. That one's pretty fun.
Yes.
How about that? We have Jordan Richard against Missy Parkin. And Elise Bolton versus Liz Culkin. So there we go. That's the left side of the bracket. Over on the right side, we're going to have Lindsay Boomershine against Liz Johnson. Julia Bond versus Stephanie Johnson. That's a fun matchup right there as well. Going to have Birgit Norix against Diana Z. This is getting good. We're going to have Clara Guerrero taking on Kayla Pashina. So those are our 16 players in the winners bracket. Moving on. Done for the day. Get a full day to have a nice meal. Potentially sneak back into the stadium and bring some to us when they have leftovers.
Well, they can't come back in.
That's why they have to sneak in.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish. Maybe we can go outside, meet them.
There we go. I love it when a plane comes together. So those are the matchups coming up. Looking later today, in about going to be in about 2 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 local time here in Reno. Going to have the contenders bracket kick off their first round. All of those matchups already set. Let's run through those real quick. We have Brianna Clemmer taking on Daria Payuk. Lily Robles taking on Nicole Hiroka. Abby Ragsdale versus Maria Bolanova, matchup of rookies this year on tour. Sandra Gongora taking on Angie Ramirez-Perea. Blair Blumenscheid taking on Carrie Smith. Erin McCarthy against Nicole Klutkin. Brianna Cote against Kelly Kulick. That's quite a matchup right there.
Yeah.
Sharon Powers versus Shayna Bluchowski. Stephanie Zavala taking on Taylor Bailey, another rookie matchup. Laura Plazas taking on Kristen Nieder. Amanda Vermillion taking on Christine Gill. Sabrina Divis taking on Anna Molina. Caitlin Johnson against Valerie Bercier. Shalyn Zolkifli taking on Rocio Restrepo. Sydney Brumman against Maria Jose Rodriguez. And then Hope Cramley taking on Josie Barnes. All those matchups coming up 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 local time here in Reno, JT. So
some good matches there. You're not going to want to miss it.
Absolutely. This has been a fun, interesting. There's been so many different elements. We've had excitement. We've had just calculated matchups. It's been very fun to watch it break down here on Bowl TV. And so you already know you don't want to miss it moving forward. It's Sunday night. We're ready to have a good time. We're going to get this field down. We're going to go from 64 to 32 by the time we are all said and done for today. So you want to keep up. We'll have our recaps coming up throughout the course of the day, updates on social media, but want to watch it unfold live right here on Bowl TV. So, folks, for us right now, we're going to go ahead and take another little break. We'll be back for the first round of the contenders bracket coming up next, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 local time here at the National Bowling Stadium. Big thank you to USBC and the USBC Board of Directors. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider here this week. Our gold industry partners, 900 Global, Rotogrip Storm, the RSCVA and the Row, our participants this week, of course, providing us a great show on Bowl TV. The Bowl TV community, thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. We love the ability to interact with you and bring you these broadcasts, and we'll continue to do so. For the staff here working the event and the NBS staff, big thank you for the long hours and long days they've been putting in. And finally, for the Bowl TV team, Mike Flanagan, is going to be joining us probably a little bit later tonight. Jason Thomas, JT's been fun breaking them down with you. I'm Aaron Smith. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, folks, but we'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern for the first round of the elimination bracket. So that's going to do it for right now from the National Bowling Stadium. We'll see you soon right here at the USBC Queens. And remember, folks, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. See you soon.